Welcome back, family, to another episode of LANCESCURV. Just when you thought that the world was a little too crazy and it calmed down just for a second, we had so many murders and death and crime, and we're on the verge of World War III and the tensions, just so much tension. And then you hear of something that kind of throws you off a little bit. It makes you think, well, what am I talking about? Well, listen, here's the headline. Sayreville Borough Councilwoman EUNICE DWUMFOUR was killed Wednesday evening. She was found in the vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds. This is not a person who is probably living some wayward way. Maybe she was, I don't know. But a councilwoman, and she was 30 years old. This is a beautiful black woman. Doesn't mean she couldn't be a councilwoman and not be involved in something shady. I don't know. I'm not going to think that at first. But it's obvious that this was a hit. Why was she the victim of what I think is a hit? I couldn't tell you. But we don't know, because lots of times things happen, and when we find out what it really was, it shocks us. So that remains to be seen. I'm not here to throw shade on anybody, but there's something not right about this. Let me read this article from NBC News, not the whole thing, but just a couple of paragraphs to enlighten you on this, because this happened Wednesday night, right? February 1st. And it's just coming out in the news full force like this. I popped on the computer, I saw it, I read the article, I listened to a few videos, and I said, you know what? Let me talk about this. We need to think about stuff like this. Okay, here it is. A New Jersey Borough Councilwoman was fatally shot in a car Wednesday evening, authorities said. The victim was identified as EUNICE DWUMFOUR, and it's spelled the last name DWUMFOUR, but they say DWUMFOUR, so I'm gonna roll with that. A member of the Sayreville Borough Council, the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office said. The shooting unfolded before 7:30 p.m. Wednesday in the area of Samuel Circle in Sayreville, according to a news release by the prosecutor's office and police. Officers responded to the scene and located a woman in her vehicle who had sustained multiple gunshot wounds, the release said. DWUMFOUR, 30, died at the scene. Sayreville Mayor Victoria Kilpatrick said in a news release Thursday, as a community, we are shocked and saddened at the loss of EUNICE DWUMFOUR. EUNICE was a dedicated member of our borough council who was truly committed to serve all of our residents. The fact that she was taken from us by a despicable criminal act makes this incident all the more horrifying, she wrote. She said she's confident the police department and the prosecutor's office will lead to a quick and successful conclusion and the identification, arrest, and successful prosecution of the person responsible. Okay, the article goes on to say a few more things, how she's an amazing friend, how she was full of life, and her career of public service was just beginning. And she had already built a reputation as a committed member of the borough council who took her responsibility with the utmost diligence and seriousness. All good things. But are they going to say anything bad? But something happened. Someone purposely did this. This was nothing random. This wasn't a stick up, obviously. Why are you going to go into somebody's complex and run up on them like that? Doesn't seem likely. This had to be personal. This was targeted. But who would target her? They also said in one of the videos, in one of the reports, that they're going to investigate every aspect of her life. How are they going to do that? Well, there's ways of doing that other than grabbing a phone, but they have her phone. And they're going to go through her phone. And I think that way they will find out something that will lead law enforcement to some kind of conclusion and to some kind of way of finding the person or people who did this. I immediately called Mr. Political. And we had a private conversation of things we're not going to say because we didn't want to smear this young lady, because we don't have the right to do that. Because thus far, her persona and public image is meticulous and spotless. But what would make someone just overall go after a person who is a council person, right? Councilwoman. You see, from what I've observed in the past with those who are councilwomen, councilmen, that they're on a level, this is me talking now, that they're on a level of politics where that's like the first one up that they have to get their foot in the door. And lots of times they have connections with other people who are in different worlds. I won't mention any names, but there's somebody I knew very well where I used to live, and I'll just say it that way. They were a certified crackhead. I think they were arrested like 18 to 20 something times, and the newspaper showed all the mugshots of this person. But for some reason, they got in, they cleaned their act up, and this person had a good job for a while. I don't know if they fell off for a while, but they had a good job, retired. I think they served in the military, but they were a certified crackhead. I'm talking about one of those crackheads that would put a little polish on your knob for $5, if you want to say, in the street like that. As a matter of fact, I ran across this individual many years ago while online where I used to live, in that city that I used to live, and she knew me from online, and she invited me over. And it wasn't to talk about politics. It was a time when she was under the influence and addicted to that stuff. So I know it could be real. At the same time, I won't say too much, but I know her very well. Am I saying this woman that got shot is in the same boat? But it's like you're just getting your career in politics going on. Last year she got elected. Could it possibly be, because they said they're going to check the religious, the public, the personal, the professional, and whatever else her cell phone reveals, which might reveal a whole lot. Most of us do not want strangers going in our cell phones because there are things in there that we might not want the world to see. Seriously. And that's going to tell it. But why? Speculation. Did she owe somebody a favor? Did she promise someone something that when they get into office that maybe they'll do this for them? Maybe she was dealing with somebody who wasn't too reputable in their reputation. They weren't too pristine. And she got there and turned their back on her. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, so please don't knock me for smearing her. I'm just thinking out loud. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. Because we all think out loud. We all have that initial gut feeling. It could it have been a man? Could it have been a woman? This is 2023. We can't rule out anything. But whatever it is, did it warrant her getting shot like that? They came to her. They squatted and waited for her. And I'm quite sure there had to be a getaway vehicle. It's not like somebody does that with all of those windows there with the condos and everybody can look down and see inside the complex and just whistle away. Is there a security guard there? Was there security there? Which really wouldn't stop anything anyway if you wanted to get to the person. So she was in the car. It couldn't have been a stick-up because there was no sign of struggle. Were the windows down? Were they up? The car rolled down after it happened. So there was some kind of incline where after it happened, it just rolled down, probably not too fast, depending on how long the roll down in the complex is, and it crashed somewhere. But from the photo, it didn't look like it was like a 50-mile-an-hour crash. Probably 10 or 15 miles an hour after her foot is off the gas and you're shot up and crazy. You shoot somebody once, you shoot somebody twice. They didn't say 2 gunshots, they said multiple gunshots. So they intended to leave there with her dead. That was the intention. So why would a person want to kill a beautiful black sister doesn't mean if she wasn't beautiful that she deserved to die. Nobody deserves to die for something foolish. It had to be something heavy. And if it wasn't something heavy and profound to want to put a hit on somebody, then you had to be mentally sick to do something like this. Premeditated, definitely. What if somebody else rolled up over there? Was this a gang initiation where you kill anybody? Could have been that too, right? Where this is an initiation. We want you to go and kill a black woman who lives in this area. They can get very specific when it's gang initiations. We want you to kill an old lady. We want you to kill a child. They usually don't say that. But they get very specific. They want you to go out and kill somebody white. Whatever. And maybe that was anonymous and her number came up. But I'm going to really... This case intrigues me. Because there's no real motivation to do something to this woman. Or is there? Maybe there's something we don't know. Of course there has to be. Aside from a random gang-related type of initiation, go out and kill somebody to prove that you want to be part of this gang and to prove your loyalty, you got to go out there and do this. Unless it's that, I want to know the reason why. And, okay, on the shady side, we're not saying that it's a shady thing. Did she take money from somebody for the campaign and owe them? Did she? Was she involved with somebody in the underworld, a drug dealer that, hey, I'll give you this money, but you got to do this for me. Oh, you didn't do this for me? Bang, bang. Okay, we're not saying that's what it is. I'm just thinking out loud. What could it be? I want everybody here listening to this to take a special interest in this case. Because just like with the 5 Memphis police, and we saw what they did to a young brother, there was a reason why that one cop went on like that. That was his reason in his mind. Because the young brother that was killed was seeing his ex. In his mind, that was a reason. Looking back, I'm quite sure he feels very stupid about that. So what was the reason to kill EUNICE DWUMFOUR? 30-year-old, beautiful city councilwoman in Sayreville, New Jersey, who lived in a luxury condo, had a nice SUV. But again, those jobs don't pay that much now, do they? Do they pay a whole lot? Maybe her credit was excellent. Maybe she got out of college and did everything right and worked some good jobs, saved up some good money, and did everything right. 30 years old could be ancient if you did everything right. Ancient meaning that you could have been set for a while. Did her family have money? It wasn't like that's off the beaten path. If you come out and you're not dropping a ton of babies, you know what you want to do in this life, you have good connections, you're focused, you're beautiful, you're young, you have the world ahead of you, you can reach leaps and bounds in your professional career if everything is done right. So I'm not saying that just because she had a nice condo and a car that she had to be dealing with somebody who gave her money from drug proceeds. No. But I'd like to see her ascension in her career. How did she start? Where did she start? What's her background? Not blaming her. Maybe some man fixated on her and she kept rejecting him. Could that be it? Maybe she was seeing somebody else and she broke up with somebody. It doesn't have to be politically corrected. I need correction this time of night. But it could be anything. Right now, it could be anything. I would like to hear from everyone listening to this. We're not smearing her. We don't know. We don't have the right to really say, this is it. Please understand my perspective. But we will know. But what is your gut feeling of what it could be? Jealousy on a political level? Jealousy on a romantic level? Maybe an old friend? Maybe somebody who, I don't know. Please, we're not going to say that you're judging or I just want to know what your knee-jerk reaction is. This is one of those cases that have me baffled. Anyway, LANCESCURV out. like, share, and subscribe. Download the app LANCESCURV at the Google Play Store, the App Store, the Amazon Store. And always go to LANCESCURV.com. That's where everything is tied in. You know I'm an artist, right? Go check out the artwork. You know I write. Go check out the blogs, not just the videos that are there. Comment there also. Share the site. Everything I do is there. Looking to hear from you. Peace.